Well, hello again and welcome to the final part of the tutorial. What I'm going to show you here is what happens just after the effect that we've worked in right now. So the regeneration finishes, but it doesn't finish completely, and it should finish here. And you can see here that Al has his mouth open here and here is closed, so try to keep some record, as I didn't do in my case, although it happens very quick. So this effect is going to last only 1 second, so we're not going to need the rest of the clip here. So I'm going to press N and trim come to work area. And I'm going to do also the effect only in the right hand, as I did in the other videos. So and it's then you will have to apply the same effect to the head and the left hand. Okay, so let's get started. Let's first create a new solid. So let's make this, yeah, okay, blue, and this is going to be big blast. And I want to make it a bit bigger than the composition, so let's make it bigger. Okay, because I'm going to move it, it's going to move a bit. So, I mean, I could also move it later, but anyway, in this case, I'm going to create a new fractal noise. Where are you? So here, fractal noise, fractal all the time. Fractals all around. So let's make it not visible. I'm going to create a mask here around the hand and make it a bit bigger than the shape of the hand. So like this. Let's see the mask. Okay. Let's change this to dynamic twist, increase the contrast, and create some evolution. So I'll click and time multiplied 360. So really fast. As I said, this effect is going to last only 1 second. Okay, let's create some feathers. So press F. Let's say 10, maybe a bit more, 13. Okay. And let's apply again, as always, shine. As always, so let's put it here. And what I want to do before we continue, I'm going to deselect the effects. Well, make it not visible. But I want to see the mask. And I'm going to create a keyframe for the position. So P, and for the mask, here and here. Well, let's make it visible, but reduce the opacity, just for now. Okay, so let's see the keyframes. I'm going to go to the second one, and I want to move the layer and the mask. Okay, let's do it again. Okay, okay. I mean, I could also track the hand and do what we did before, but this, as I said, this lasts only 1 second, so I think it's faster if we do it this way. And it doesn't have to be really accurate. As you can see, I'm not exactly rotoscoping, it's just a mask around the hand. So, okay, let's check it. Okay, okay. And I'm also moving it instead of just moving the mask, so now when we apply the shine effect, it moves with the layer, so we don't have to move all the time the source point, although we will have to move it a little bit. So we have it here, and let's create a keyframe also for the source point, and let's see the keyframes and just move it 2 or 3 times maybe, or 4. And what we want to do is change this to screen, and I want to increase the boost light a bit and the ray length. So let's increase it, increase the ray length, and increase also the shimmer. And I also want to change the colorize to a little bit more orange or yellow color. So, and I want to make this visible completely, of course. I wasn't okay. So now we can see that we have a lot of boost light. And what happened when I put some some amount of shimmer. So let's increase it a lot, and with the ray length we can see what's going on. Okay, so you can see that with the shimmer I have these beams of light longer. So let's leave it like this. So let's go to the beginning, reduce the boost light maybe, and let's check it. Okay, good. And we want to apply some distortion, so turbulent displays. It's going to be small, so let's say 17. What about the amount? Okay, and let's create another expression, so time multiplied 180. Okay, so let's see it. Let's increase the amount, increase the size. No, the size was okay. And so let's check it. So now what I want to do is press T. So we see the opacity. Let's put it in 0 here. But besides that, I want to also create a keyframe for the shimmer, for the amount. And here put it in 0. And also maybe for the ray length. And put it on 0. So let's check it. I want to hide the masks and everything, so okay. We can increase the boost light if we want to, but then we will have to increase the ray length. Okay, so now what I want to do is apply some particles. So new solid, let's make this yellow. Okay, and particles. And as always, effect trap code particular. So let's move the layer. Let's move it. And let's go to the emitter. In this case, it's going to be maybe a sphere or a box. And move it here, put this to directional, rotate it 90 degrees, increase the velocity, and rotate it in the y-axis. So increase the velocity, and let's go to particle. Let's make this smaller, so let's say 2. Increase the amount. Maybe increase the size. Let's put some randomness to the size. Make it yellow. Okay. And add some motion blur. So on, but again reduce the shutter angle so we can see them. Okay, so now let's move the emitter. So let's create a keyframe for the position XY. Go to the end. And okay, well, what I want to do also is create a keyframe for the velocity, and around here, more or less, we're going to put it to 0. So, and we're going to create a keyframe for the particles per second, and at the end also 0. So now let's continue with the position. So let's put it in the proper place. And now we can see some remaining particles there. And what I want to do also is they're going to last 1.5 seconds. And this is going to be glow sphere. Put it into 100% of feather. Maybe now reduce the size to 1. And I'm going to change the size, the opacity random a little bit, and the opacity over life. So now they are going to disappear gradually. Okay. Let's check it. Check out the audio here. Let's check it again. I mean, basically this is it. But what I want to do also is add a new adjustment layer, and as I did before, just add some light here to the jacket and the suit, and also here to the arm, and apply a lot of feather So like this. Go to color correction curves, increase it a bit, and not as much as in the other effects that we've done before. So let's check it. I think maybe it's too much. Well, it's. I mean, if we want to reduce it, yeah, we can just reduce the opacity here. Okay, so let's create a keyframe, and also for the masks. And we have now to move them a bit. Maybe make this smaller. We also can cover the hand here. So let's move it, and also here. Okay. Okay. So let's check it again. And basically this is it. But what I'm going to do, now the light is too strong here, so let's go to the big blast, and where's my ray length here, so I'm going to increase it also there. In fact, I think it's not going to be 0 at the end. I'm going to leave it with this value. So now let's check it. And also I think the shimmer is too big here, so I'm going to reduce the amount over here. And check it. Let's check it again. And whoa, maybe it's too big here also, so let's reduce it. The thing is that I think here, okay, let's also reduce the rail length here a bit. I mean, as you can see, you have to play with the settings and see if it's looking okay for you. You can also maybe change the detail or increase it. I mean, increase it or reduce it if you want to. So if you increase it, the beams of light are going to be stronger. So it depends on you. But basically this is it. Whoa. Whoa. So we can see some particles. And I'm also going to increase the size of the turbulent displays a bit. I mean, okay, so this is it. I'm not going to spend more time with this because This is just play with the settings until it looks good for you, but basically you have to use particular, and for the big blast, fractal noise, shine, and turbulent space, and play with it. You can also add some vector blur if you want to, but I don't think it's necessary here. So what I'm going to do, and also, yeah, the lights here. Let's check if I almost forgot. Here we want it in 0. Okay, so what I'm going to do is add the rest of the effects to the head and the left hand, and I'll see you once I have finished. Okay, so I have added the effects to the left hand and the head. So you can see here that I have all the layers. I have renamed them so I know what all of them are. So here we have the lights. Here the particles for the head, big blast, particles for the left hand, big blast, particles to the right hand, big blast. So your composition should look like this. And as you can see here, for example, for the head, the particles first they go up, then they go down, and then they stay. So I just added some negative values to the velocity. And for example, for the particles here, I went to full, here, if we see them in full resolution, I also have added some fast blur because they were too sharp. So if I remove it, go almost there, where they have no motion blur, they are too sharp, so I just added some fast blur, so they look better. And I also added some vector blur to the head, because if we go to the previous effect, it has to match, more or less. I mean, when you do visual effects, your visual effects supervisor, or if you are the visual effects supervisor, you have to be really careful with these kind of things. And if you do have a visual supervisor, sometimes they go frame by frame to see that everything is working properly. So, as I say, always play with the settings. If you need to change some values here, for example, I added also a keyframe for the boost light. So, here. And play until everything looks okay for you. So this is it. I mean, this is the final part of this long tutorial. I hope you liked it. As I said at the beginning, this is my first tutorial, so sorry if I made some mistakes, if I went too quick, or if I missed some steps, but I tried to be really accurate and really precise. Let me know if you liked it, and if not, well.
You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity. Farewell.
So if you do, let me know in the comments, click like, click in subscribe, and if you liked it, I will probably do more tutorials in the future, not as long as this one if it's possible, and if you do, well.
One day I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine.
So I hope to see you in the future again. Bye.